So first off, you want to just choose your canvas. I'm just going to use a 9x12 flat canvas today. And these are the different brushes I have. We probably won't be using this fan brush today, but I love using that one, mostly for trees. But we'll probably be using this one, and then this one as well. It's a smaller brush, good for detailing clouds. As for the paint we'll be using today, I'm going to be using mostly top-notch products. So this is just the regular blue. I'll be using the white as well, and a lighter blue. I believe it's just called light blue. Or sky blue, that might be it. This is Denim. Yeah, this is the light blue I was talking about. And Apple Barrel White. So for those that might want to follow along, those are the colors I'm using. Nothing too fancy, just regular blues and white. So we're just going to start with an easy blend. I'm going to put the darker blue at the top there. And then I'm going to take the lighter blue, spread some there. And I'll usually put white on the bottom. So you're just going to want to slowly spread the paint across the canvas, starting with the darker color, and kind of just work your way down the canvas. So I'm trying to get all the white edges, make sure I get rid of them all. And then I'm just going to keep blending these two colors together, making sure that the blend looks nice and even. Keep going down the canvas a bit more. And pretty soon here I'll add some white. I'll probably add some lighter blue first, just to finish off. I'll usually put my white color last. And I'm just going to blend up. So I'm going to start with that lighter blue color and make sure it's blend up with that darker blue up there, and work my way down towards the white, just like so, and kind of blend all those colors together. And this is just going to be, this is going to be the background for our clouds. Nothing too complicated, pretty simple blending. And I usually just go up and blend all the way up to the top. You don't want to do it too much, because then all your colors will kind of just look the same. So I try to just do it a little bit, enough to make it a little bit different. Kind of that nice gradient. We're going to let it dry. So I'll be back in, 10, 20 minutes. All right, so the canvas is a little bit more dry now. Well, first off, when I'm doing my clouds, you don't want to start with your brightest color, which in this case would be white. So I usually will mix kind of a lighter blue and white together, and use that more as my base. I might even do a darker blue sometimes if I want my clouds to have a little bit more shadows to them. But this will do for this. And then I start with my brush. And let's say that we want the clouds that are a little bit closer to us on this side of the canvas. So they're going to be the bigger clouds. And then the ones that are farther away are going to be smaller. So we're going to get kind of a perspective. So it's going to look a little bit like the clouds over here will be in the distance, and then these ones will be a little bit closer up. And that'll make more sense as we start painting. So I'm going to start with the bigger clouds. And I just kind of like to shape my clouds a little bit with this brush. Try to make them like nice and fluffy and not uniform, because clouds are pretty random sometimes. So give them a little bit of fluff. You can see, even though this is a light blue, it still has the same kind of white look that a cloud would have. So definitely don't start with your white right off the bat, because that's what we're going to use for the highlights. And you'll see once we use that why I wait. And I might put a little bit of darker blue in there too. Kind of just taper them off like that. We're kind of making like a fluffy cloud here. And I'm actually going to get a little bit darker blue just to throw in there, just to add a little bit of shade. So I'm just using this color blue here, which is the top-notch brand blue. It's just blue. I'm just going to add, say the light is going to be coming from this side, so I'm going to want my shadows to be on this side of the cloud. I'm just going to kind of blend it a bit, just so that the cloud kind of blends in with the sky a little bit more. So I'll throw a little bit more in there just to give it a little bit more depth. You can see how that makes the cloud look a little more 3D. It's a little hard to tell with the light shining on it, but just kind of fluff it up a bit. Add a little bit more dark there. Kind of have an indication of where the different crevices in the cloud might be. So maybe the crevices go over here. And just kind of fluff it into that. Kind of gives it a little more depth. Need my water. Rinse my brush off, because I'm going to put some highlights in there now. Now that we've got kind of our base cloud down, I'll add some white in there to make it brighten up a bit. Sometimes I'll even put a little bit of, like, a little dab of a golden yellow as an indication of sunlight. But for this one, just a little white is fine. So we're just kind of doing some highlights on the side that the sun is shining on. Just to add a little more depth to it. Kind of like that. Just kind of fluff it in there. Blend the colors together a bit. Add a little bit more to the top here. You can see how that's kind of making the cloud look a little more 3D, a little more realistic. Kind of play around, maybe do a little bit different shapes in there. You know, maybe this sticks out over here on this side or something. And so now you can see, you know, this is looking more like a cloud and less like a blob on the canvas. And maybe we've got another little outcropping of a cloud over here. Kind of add a little bit right there. Just like that. There you go. There's a little bit of a cloud there. And we'll do the same. You know, maybe we're got another cloud that lives right here. And I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller because it's going to be just a little bit further away. So that adds to that perspective. I'll put a little more darker blue on there to add some more of that depth. And then we'll add some of that white in there. Like that. I might even put in a little bit more right here just to break up the pattern a little bit because the clouds are looking a little too uniform. Maybe I'll do that over here as well. Gives it a little bit more adversity. And I'll just continue this trend, so maybe I'll put a little bit smaller clouds over here in the distance. I'll probably switch to a smaller brush as well. Let's see, I've got a smaller one over here somewhere. There we go. And I'm just gonna do the base of the clouds first, just kind of like where I want them to be. And then I'll add some of those highlights. This is just so I can figure out where I'm gonna have them all in my sky. And so I'll probably put a little bit bigger cloud here since this is getting closer to us, closer to the viewer of this scene. And the further I get to the left of the canvas, the smaller I'm going to make my clouds. And then by the time we get like over here, you know, they're getting a little bit smaller. They're tiny because these ones are further away. And I'll probably even bunch them together a little bit more. So you can see that that adds a little bit more distance. And then maybe we'll put another big one over here. Let me get my bigger brush out. I'll just kind of fluff it up a bit. Add a little bit of that darker blue. Kind of indication of where the shadows are at in this cloud here. And then I'll add a little bit of white as well. Like that. So those clouds have a little bit more body to them. Let me fluff this one up over here a bit more too. We'll blend that darker blue in. Like that. That's a little bit fluffier cloud there. And then we'll go back on those smaller clouds and add a little bit of white to those as well, just to give a little bit of highlight in there. That was a little bit too much white there, but that's okay. The sun's just really shining on that cloud. Pretty much, you can put as many clouds as you'd like. It really depends on what kind of scene you're going for. But this is more just to show you the method that I use that works for me. I don't know if it's the right method or not, but it's what I do. I'm just going to add a little bit of white to the top of these clouds. Not too much, I just want to add a little bit of color. Like that. And then maybe I'll put some like little clouds off in the distance or something like that. Because that's where they're getting smaller over there, you know. So as you can see, we kind of get this little effect where it looks like the clouds are getting further away from us. I'll put a few other little clouds in here, just some little poofs. And then usually I'll put some over here as well. Like that. So that's how I do my clouds generally. And you know, you can make them any color you want. So yeah, that's just a little quick tutorial of how I do my clouds. I'm sure there's other ways to do them, but that's just how I've been doing my clouds. And a lot of people have asked specifically how I do my clouds. So hopefully that helped. Please let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see. I've got some other tips and tricks for TikTok coming up. I've got some other tutorials I've written down that I'll probably be working on very shortly. So, you know, if anything, any burning questions, please let me know. And I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.